our musical performances today. And now it is the moment we've all been waiting for. It is my honor to introduce a true patron of the arts, our mayor, Lennon Breed.
Wow, this is a packed house here tonight. I am so very much excited to be here because this has been a long time coming. The process that the committee members have had to go through to make a selection for a poet laureate in San Francisco is one that is, of course, very time-consuming because of the number of applications that are received and also the robust body of work so many of these accomplished poets have. And I really want to start by thanking the committee for all the great work that they have done. Dr. Lopez, Valerie Ibarra, thank you so much for all the work you've done with other folks who are here. I don't know if I have all the names, but I will please raise your hand if you were on the committee. Thank you, our former poet laureate, Chuck. Thank you so much for being here. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you all here to the Asian Art Museum to announce the 9th Poet Laureate of the City and County of San Francisco. And by the looks of this crowd, you already know who it is. Ladies and gentlemen, Genny Lim. Now, thank you. Today is about Genny. And I know that to Genny, it is about her lifelong story, which so many of our community members can relate to. Genny's story reminds us that we stand at a moment in history when we have the opportunity to reflect not just on how far we've come, but also on the struggles of our Chinese and Asian American communities and what they have faced, not just in the distant past, but even in recent history. Her family's history and throughout her growing up in San Francisco are a reminder of how deeply immigration policies and discrimination have shaped the lives of individuals and families across generations. Genny's grandfather came to this country during the gold rush, and despite efforts to build a new life in a new country with unfamiliar faces and languages, his family was subjected to the harsh realities of exclusionary policies. Her father, at just 10 years old, was detained at Angel Island, a site infamous for casting a long shadow of suspicion on anyone perceived as foreign by isolating immigrants. Worse, her grandfather was deported. That dark period in our history was not just about laws or policies. It was about real people. Real families being torn apart, their dreams deferred, and their trust in the promise of the American dream denied. Like so many others, Genny's father experienced the fear and uncertainty of being an immigrant in a country that didn't always welcome them. He lived his life weary of authorities, knowing that unlike others, there was no amnesty for him or folks who were in his position. This fear and mistrust of the government were passed down from generations of immigrant families who feared the same. Yet despite this history, Genny's story, like the stories of so many immigrants, is also one of resilience and strength. She found her voice as a poet and social justice advocate, inspired by her own history and the painful memories her family endured, and overcame. Jenny might talk more about her experience growing up and how much time it took for her family to fully embrace her identity and be proud of her working class roots and heritage. Still, she emerged stronger, knowing the only way to move forward was by honoring the past. Her inspiration came in part from the late Janice Mercatani, another Asian American poet. Who was dearly missed, whose family was unjustly imprisoned during World War II in a Japanese internment camp. These stories of oppression, whether under the Chinese Exclusionary Act or during the internment of Japanese Americans, are not just distant memories. They are part of lived experiences of many in our communities, shaping their identities and their fight for justice. Even today, the echoes of that painful history can be heard during the COVID-19 pandemic, and Jenny reminded us of that. A new wave of anti-Asian violence emerged, bringing back those painful memories, how immigrant communities, particularly Asian Americans, continue to face the scapegoating and violence that once defined our darkest chapters. It is a sobering reminder that while we have come very far, the work of equity and justice is far from complete. But we must also take a moment and celebrate how far we have come, thanks to the resilience of people like Jenny, her family, her community, and her friends, and many others who refuse to give up on their dreams. Their stories remind us that while America's history of immigration has been fraught with injustice, it is also a history of perseverance and hope. Today, Jenny is the first Chinese American Poet Laureate of the City and County of San Francisco. When her family was struggling to survive in a country that didn't always see them as equal. As she steps into this role, she carries with her not just her own story, but the stories of generations of families who came before her. She is the first, but she will not be the last to be in this role. And not to mention, she is also a Galileo High School Lion. I see you, Supervisor Yee. One of the fight and the resilience. And as a city that takes pride in supporting the arts community, I am really proud of not only her body of work, but all that it represents, and all that it will do over the next 3 years to elevate San Francisco's position as an ambassador, not just in the arts, but as an ambassador that represents the amazing woven tapestry of what San Francisco is. We appreciate your work, we appreciate your representation of San Francisco, and we are so proud and honored and excited about the work you will do as San Francisco's Poet Laureate. Ladies and gentlemen,
I think the mayor just said everything for me. And Francis Long and the Delso Quartet, I mean, they also everything they express, that's what I'm feeling, heart full, whole few. Everyone here has a good heart. That was the most important thing my mother taught me, that whatever you do in life, you have to have a good heart. And all of you here have been on this long journey with me, 77 years, some as my school chums as far back as Gene Parker Elementary School, Washington Irving, Francisco Galileo. I've been on this, I don't see you all that often, but you're always part of my memory. And that's why you're all here, you're all part of me. All the poet laureates, past and the future, the committee, the 8-member committee that did that wonderful work of processing all of those nominations and applications with amazing poets. And for me to squeak through such a high bar, I'm like truly amazed. And you know, I go back with the people that I've started the journey of poetry and jazz with, John Jay, Francis Wong, Asian Art and Craft, all of the people I've done free readings, benefit readings, active readings for against apartheid, everything. It all culminates here. And I want to, you know, my family's here, so I think this is the first time I've gathered my family at one of my events. My 3 grandsons are here, Caleb from Cal Poly, Tyson, who has amassed more likes on Facebook for his drawings at 11 than I ever will in a lifetime. Harrison, who's already at 9, traveled to Las Vegas. He's a real basketball, baseball athlete. He goes with the Oakland. He's got more trophies and medals in his room than he can. I can count. So you know, that's the next generation. They don't speak Hoisanwa like my mother taught me, but I think the culture is been transferred somehow through osmosis, through memory, through stories. And I want to thank the Asian Art Museum for hosting this wonderful event for us here. The city librarian, Michael, Michelle, and their staffs, the mayor. I can't believe she had my whole story. I thought she was just going to introduce me and that took some time to get my story together. I really appreciate that. I'm like really touched that you would do that. And then all the dignitaries here, I'm an ordinary person, all the ordinary people here, thank you for being here. You know, there's just so many people that I need to thank, my students, just everyone here have played a part in my life. So I want to share this poem for my mom, who couldn't be here, who never spoke a word of English, and my pop, who taught me, he was the I wrote his speeches for his club, and he had a wonderful voice, and I learned public speaking through him. And then, of course, my daughter Danielle, who I lost at 19, she's up there smiling down at me, my family, Colette, and Josh, and everyone. Mother tongue, koi, here, mean, there. Language is the boat that delivers memory back and forth, across heaving seasons, steady, strong, like the hands that coaxed childhood. Duck eggs, Faidon, served in mud with rich yolks, oranges, persimmon, village remedies for night sweats, nightmares, fainting and flatulence among a cabal of sewing women. The mother tongue that shamed me, now archived like Yaqui in annotated bibliography with footnotes and diacritics for dialects of extinctions, keepers of tongues, copyright for publication. Koi, here, Nin there, or year, no English will be spoken here. The accent's got a swing, she said, like the tail of the ox pulling its cart along the muddy river delta. We were curios, country folk who followed the crooked path to a yoked dream called Negok, beautiful country. Like Ishi, we were frozen in time. They said, you never really left China. I find her play wet on my tongue. It's a thick, rough drawl tasting of jingopyeon. The tip alights on the upper palate, ascending and descending like a gull. Like a gull in a cave with its wings clipped. She waited and waited in the echoing gloom of post-mortem interrogations, nervous as the crow flies. A rice bin, a temple wall, a temple well recalled, a paper memory tossed at sea. This is all she's left me. Her children laid to rest behind locked doors with graffiti etched in couplets of despair. The night moon parsed its golden light on the words, I will cross the barrier. What's your name? What year were you born? How many houses in a row in your village? Koi, here. Nin, there. Mama. Mother watches like a sparrow in a nest under the fading moon. She dreams of fireflies under the bridge. She dreams of capturing their flickering light. She dreams of cuttlefish and squid swimming swiftly, steady, across the frozen bay to survive. Who have had grandparents, parents who have gone through Angel Island, and we know what people south of the border suffer every day. It's the same story. So history is not really history. History is now. And I'm going to welcome Del Sol to come up here and accompany me. I want to thank Andy and her little elves for taking the care to put my poem, tiny poems, in little vials. So if you're fortunate on the way out, you can get one of those little poems. They're supposed to be time capsules, so I don't know if they have to be opened at a future date, or they can...
They will be in a time capsule to be opened in 24 years.
Oh, 24 years. Don't break the bottle. You might have bad luck. But this is the poem that's in it, in case you, so you don't have to break the bottle.
There's a QR code that leads
Oh,
to your reading.
okay, she thought of it. There's a QR code. The journey. We cannot be together. blessings of our ancestors protect us. Though we cannot change the path of the sun or moon, may we persevere in this place of wind and darkness, like the cuckoo who returns from far-off lands to sip the fruit of liberation. How joyful it would be if we could see the faces of our children, radiant, alive as stars. The pursuit of freedom is filled with hardship.